Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chitchats and Crowns, where I answer manifestation questions, do coaching sessions for free on my Discord, and I am here to answer whatever you guys want. And also, we have a special guest today, my baby brother, Charlie, who's also into positive mindset. He has manifested a lot in his life as well due to persistence. You can also ask him any questions you'd like. So we'll be answering whatever you guys want. Feel free to start asking your questions on the message chat. All right, guys. All right, Sarah has a question. Sarah says, Melly, I see my SP in 3D daily, and it hurts that we are not talking, and he is hanging out with other girls. All right, Sarah. So your issue is that you're constantly seeing your specific person, but what's hurting you a lot is that you guys are in no contact and that he is currently hanging out with other girls. So you have to kind of start seeing why you are currently aligning to this version of this person. The reason you're aligning to a person where you are in no contact with this person is because there could be different things. Number one could be that you are just assuming that you guys are just seriously in no contact and that's your main focus. Because the 3D is bothering you, you're continuously in that loop of we're in no contact, so which is what you manifest more of. And then could be that you also need to work on your self-concept and everyone is you pushed out, because it could be that your main identity is that you're not chosen or you are not the one that he wants because of X, Y, and Z. You probably have to find out what that X, Y, and Z that you're entertaining that is bringing you to that point. How you perceive this person is what ultimately is aligning you to this version of him that's hanging out with other girls. Could be that you see him as a player, could be that you see him as non-committal, could be that you see him as someone who still needs more healing. Therefore, you're aligning more to a version of him that's just not ready for commitment.
I think mainly it turns out when the way it's sounding is that you're kind of comparing yourself to these girls. You look at these girls that he's hanging around with. If I can ask a question, do you ask yourself, what do these girls have that I don't? So you start questioning your own self worth. And that comes into terms of the manifestation where you don't think yourself as worthy because you're wondering why he's hanging out with other women and not you. That's where you work on yourself. That's where you come in and you say, I am worthy. And again, you manifest that and you bring it into life where you say, I am worthy. I am the one that he wants to be with. I am the one that he's attracted to. And therefore, you start attracting that your SP into yourself. Because the more you doubt, the more you think about why, you're kind of pushing him towards that sense of other girls of like, why, why is he choosing other women and not me? So you're kind of like you're manifesting that part of why not you. So your train of thought should be instead, I am the one. And at the end, I think the end goal is to make him realize that you are that one that he desires. So working on yourself, on your self-love as well, has to do a lot with being able to bring your SP into your own life.
Yep, I agree. All right, we have another question. Strada, I hope I said your name right. Melly, I am manifesting a new SB, but I have a full-time job. I am focusing on my job more. How to get my new specific person fast? So I think you currently have a block to in thinking that if I can only manifest one thing at the same time. I think that's your main block. Like, oh, if I'm focusing on my job, then I can't manifest a specific person, which is completely not true. The law of assumption is not I can only manifest one thing at a time. You can manifest multiple things at the same time. Now I usually tell you guys to focus on one area at a time, but it doesn't mean that you have to do that, because you can definitely be, if you have an identity of I get everything that I want right now, and if you change your identity to that, like if you just start affirming I get everything I want whenever I want, quickly and effortlessly, you're going to start feeling that manifesting your specific person is also as easy as manifesting a job, or everything just becomes easy. So work more on your identity rather than, oh, I need to manifest my job first so then I can get my SP, so then I can get this. Do not start putting blocks, because sometimes when we put blocks is like, oh, I need to lose 20 pounds or 30 pounds before I manifest my SP so he can look at me like I'm cute or pretty or whatever. If you start putting those blocks, like I need to have a house or I need all my finances to be perfect before I can manifest my specific person, then you're not going to manifest your specific person. I hope that makes sense.
It's kind of like putting that one picture that shows the person on a bicycle and they put the stick through the wheel and they fall and they look at it and they're like, oh, I can't believe this happened. But you stuck the own stick in the wheel. So that's kind of like where you come in and you're like, well, this can't happen
Until
until
yep,
this
yep,
happens, which it shouldn't be that way. You should say, while I'm working on this, this is also happening. You can't just concentrate on just one thing and say, like, oh, this won't happen because this hasn't happened.
exactly.
There's some things that like might take a little bit longer. And again, you're putting a speed bump in your own road instead of saying, no, I have a clear path to this and this. So don't limit yourself to just saying, like, this can only happen. Again, manifestation happens with what you want. So the more you manifest, the more you become certain of what you want, the more the more life will come and give you those things.
Exactly. Very well said. All right, let's go back to Sarah, because Sarah did answer something here based on her first question. So Sarah said, but I feel angry and upset because we have so much time to spend to and we aren't. So you're upset and you're angry, and your anger is what's pushing this person away. You're not focusing on what you want. You're focusing on what is. And what do I keep telling you guys? You have one job, guys, one job. So why aren't you doing your one job? Your one job is to focus on you being the person who already has their desire. You should be focusing that you're in a amazing relationship with this guy, that this guy is so in love with you, that this guy wants to be with you, that you're so in love with this person, that this person makes you fall in love with them every single day. You're so happy, you're so energized, you're so excited because you're in the most loving relationship ever. But here you are feeling angry and upset. So why are you surprised that you're getting the current reality that you're getting? Do you have anything else to add?
Just to reinforce that part, you're angry. You're telling yourself that you're angry. You're
Yeah.
telling yourself that.
We're wasting time.
So you're basically saying, like, yeah, he's not spending time with me. So into life, and life's giving you that, where life's telling you, like, okay, you're saying that, you guys are not spending time. Well, okay,
Thank you.
yeah.
Here you go.
So
Here you go, ma'am. That's what the subconscious is telling you.
yeah. So you have to concentrate on, instead, it's just the opposite.
Mhm.
It's not gonna be a one day thing where you manifest one day and you're like, oh, I'm about to spend the rest of my life with this man. It's not gonna happen overnight. It can, if you believe in it
Yeah.
if you believe in it that bad, but it becomes a daily training. I can't lie to you and tell you that I'm the best at it. I'm working on it as best as I can, because we end up concentrating, like she said, in the now. We concentrate on everyday things of, like,
Circumstance.
you think about logic as well. A lot of people get dominated by logic of, like, no, it can't happen because of this reason and that reason. And you can't think about it like that. You are the owner of your own life. So you have to be able to say, you know what? This is what's happening. My SP wants to spend every day with
Yep.
me. My SP loves to spend their time with me instead of other people.
Yep.
That's what you have to manifest every day. And again, it's not going to be a one day, like, oh, it's going to happen tomorrow, but the more you call it, the more life's going to be like, okay, well, you say that your SP wants to spend time with you, it's gonna give it to you. And then you'll notice the difference in where he's gonna be like, oh, okay, you know what? I want to spend more time with this person. And then you get exactly what you asked for.
Exactly. So Sarah, you say, so no matter what, I need to only think favorable thoughts. Of course, Sarah. That's the whole basis of the teaching of Neville Goddard and everyone else, including myself, that I always tell you guys, you have one simple job. And that's to focus only on the new story and only on what you want. And yes, the circumstances may suck. And yes, the circumstances are not what you want. But here's the thing, Sarah. I want you to put up both middle fingers up every time you see your SP with someone else. Put your middle fingers up in private, not in front of his face, and tell and say, fuck the circumstances. Excuse my language, but fuck the circumstances. Fuck the 3D. I'm gonna commit to my new story. That's what you should be saying, Sarah. Not, oh my gosh, I feel angry and upset because he's doing this. Like, no, you're gonna get more to be angry and upset of.
And then as well, always like again, it comes to self-love as well, to be able to love yourself and know your value. Because it seems like you're diminishing your own value looking at all these other girls. You should be instead saying, I am that woman. I am the woman that,
No competition.
he craves your attention. And you have to be that woman that puts herself up there for him to pursue instead of you pursuing him, because you don't want to be that type of person that keeps pursuing and he keeps leading you on. So you have to love yourself, like up to that level where he's going to be like, man, that type of caliber woman is the type of caliber woman that I want to be with.
Okay, so this is regarding tarot and astro. I do consult my tarot reader almost daily, and she has said that he will leave the third party by August because it is destined to happen. So I'm in a state in belief it will happen in August. I shouldn't be worried. Now I am happy that everything is working in my favor. What do you think about this? Is this okay? You guys have to remember that tarot is nothing but energy. So the tarot readers are just going to tell you what your energy's at. Like whatever you're assuming, they're just gonna read. They're not like they're
I
not
can't see the future.
yes.
So
They're seeing your energy.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're right now it looks like your energy saying that you are believing that you're gonna get your specific person back and then he's gonna leave the third party. So you're good.
The tarot reader told you August, right?
Mhm.
And but are you yourself manifesting every single day saying to yourself, okay, August is the month where this my my SP is gonna leave this person? Or are you just now idle in your head saying, oh, somebody told me that on August is gonna, and I'm gonna patiently wait? We're stopping the manifesting of ourselves
True.
because someone told us what they believed was gonna be the timeline.
Right.
And what happens then? The scary part is that you not manifesting every single day. What happens in August because you haven't been manifesting? And what happens if August it doesn't happen? Do you dig yourself deeper in a hole? Manifestation isn't real, but this whole time you weren't manifesting yourself every
Right.
single day saying August, or even earlier. August, why can't it
Why
be
not
next month?
tomorrow? Why not tomorrow?
And then again, it's your power of manifestation. You can't have somebody else bring reality into what your life is. You bring reality into what your life is. So every single day is where you come in. And let's say you go along with the tarot reading and say August. So as of right now, tonight in the afternoon and the nighttime, you call it into your life. You say, if you want to do August, then you know what? Do August, but you have to do it every single day.
Yeah.
You have to believe in it. You have to imagine the moment. You have to imagine the situation so that way it could be brought into your life.
And I would suggest going a step further, not just thinking, oh, he's leaving third party, because who the fuck cares if he leaves third party? You need to be assuming that you're in a relationship with him because isn't that what you want? Because he could leave third party and still not be with you.
True. So don't just go alongside like with, the energy reading and the information that was brought to you. Yeah, like she said, like what if it does happen? What if you're manifesting this situation where, your SP does leave whoever he's with, but you never manifested for yourself, but he's coming to me? What if you're manifesting that for somebody else? What if somebody else is manifesting him into their lives? So that person is manifesting, your SP,
But
but you're
usually it
comfortable
doesn't work though, because in your reality, nobody can manifest anyone.
somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're good at that end because nobody can manifest your
Somebody else.
person. Yeah,
Because
it's your reality. So in your reality, nobody can fuck
if
with you. If you are idle and if you start saying like, oh, maybe it's not gonna happen, or you're not really focusing on what you want, which the end goal should be, I'm in a relationship with this person, you could lose the person. Yeah. Because another third party can easily come in if you're just thinking he's gonna leave this third party, but then your identity is I'm not chosen. He can find another third party.
so
That's a thing.
idle
Yep.
And again, like you got a tarot reading and now you feel comfortable because someone told you about your reading, and now you're not manifesting yourself into your own reality.
Yep. So it's really true. I really think you guys should not be giving your power away to anyone. While the tarot could tell you, yes, you're on the right path, you should still be very, very persistent on the fact that you're the one manifesting your reality, and think that, okay, this is my reality. I am choosing the experiences that I want, and not allow yourself to think like, oh, well, the tarot reader might have been wrong or will be wrong, or maybe she was wrong, because then you're putting your power into somebody else. So it's not what you want, for sure. All right, Cobbleweb is asking how to drop the story and ruminating, how to drop the old story, and how to stop ruminating in the old story, and how to work on solidifying your identity. Okay. So the old story is anything that you're telling yourself that is not aligning to what you want. So if in case of a specific person, if you're telling yourself specific person still needs healing, specific person is non-committal, specific person has a third party, that's old story. Anything that your specific person did a minute ago is old story. If you're looking for a job, for example, if you're saying work is hard to find, there's not a lot of opportunities out there, there's more qualified people than me, that's old story. Now, let me explain to you what identity is. Those are old stories. Every little thing that we tell ourselves that's not aligning to our desire is old story. Anything and everything matters. And what is identity? Identity is you, your I amness, your I am, who you're saying that you are every single day. So as soon as you wake up, how are you identifying as? I am lonely. I am sad. I am depressed. I am anxious. I am doubtful. I am not loved. I am not chosen. All of that is your main identity. The things that you're telling yourself that you are on a daily basis is your identity. You can change identities as you change underwear. That's how easy it is to shift. Because as soon as you decide, and I'm talking about a decision, I'm not saying you're going to say something in a vain manner like, I am successful, and not mean it, because in like 5 minutes, you're going to start saying, no, that's not true. It means deciding that you are that person. So in identity, the way you can solidify your identity is by constantly deciding that that's who you are. So how do you solidify your identity? You have to think, act, and feel like that new person, like that new I am. If you're successful and confident, how would you act, feel, and think? And you have to do that on a daily basis, not just think it, you have to act like her or him. If you're going to act confident, maybe you don't talk to people first. But if a confident you, if the identity of you is confident and you're like, well, confident me will talk to people first, then you will be the one to start doing that on a daily basis, little by little. You start talking to people that you usually don't talk to, like, hey, how are you doing? Good morning, blah, blah, blah. And same thing with your specific person. Confident you would not be stalking their Instagram. So you stop doing that. You stop stalking their Instagram, because confident you, who's chosen, will not be stalking your SP's Instagram to find out what they're doing. That's how you solidify your identity. And that's in dropping the old story is simple. You stop choosing the old story and you keep repeating the new one. That's your only job.
And then you just, like she said, just every day. It's an
Mhm.
everyday thing. Like I have to, I gotta go to work, and I'm gonna have a bad day today. You're calling it in the morning. In the very morning, that's the first thing you think about is like, oh, I have to go to work and it's gonna be a bad day. You're gonna have a bad day, you know. Like she said, sometimes you have to think of yourself as being the worthy one, the one that I usually before a shift when I go to work, I tell myself today's gonna be an amazing day. Today's gonna be a great day. I'm gonna stand out amongst my peers. I'm gonna be recognized by superiors, and I'm gonna grow today. So going in with that mindset, you're already going in with changing. Even you yourself can change the vibe around your whole area. You can change other people's vibes. You can change other people's like ways of thinking. So going in with a daily dose of self manifestation, you keep calling it into your own life. So being able to say I am is one of the most powerful things that you have in your arsenal, and being able to call whatever you want into your life.
Mhm. All right. Strada says, ma'am, can you give me guidance or ideas to manifest an unknown person? An unknown person meaning like you've never met this person before and you're trying to manifest someone completely new out of thin air, like someone you never met? Or are you trying to manifest someone that you do know, but you're just trying to like, to get them into your reality to talk to you? Can you give us a little bit more information about that? I think she's replying. Let's see. Okay, never met, and I don't know who the person is. Okay, so if you've never met this person, you're just trying to manifest like someone new, someone amazing, right? The very first thing I would like to tell you to do is go and write down the traits of this person, every single thing you want this person to have. How are they, personality wise, physical wise? How do they treat you? Specifically that. How does this person treat me? How am I with this person? Because it also matters how you're gonna be with this person. You're gonna have to act like that person, that identity, in order for you to align to this person. So make sure you're writing, how do I act with this person? How do I feel with this person? How do they feel with me? What's their personality like? Even what's their job? Because it's important to know if you're going to align with them in that sense. Like, what kind of job do I want them to have? Because let's say you decide you want a CEO or you want a surgeon, but the surgeon's like spending 20 hours a day of work. Are you going to be okay just because he's a surgeon, but then he has to spend so many hours working at the hospital and barely sees you? Those are the things you have to take into account, especially if you're manifesting a person in that you don't know and you can start from scratch and it's a new canvas. You're going to want to be specific. Like, I want them to be an entrepreneur who has a lot of time but is very wealthy, and they have a lot of time in their hands so they can get to spend a lot of time with me, and we get to travel and we get to do all of these things. That's how you have to be specific. And I know some people are going to think, well, I don't think I can manifest someone that's that wealthy because I'm not that pretty or I'm not like this. That's where you have to now unblock those limiting beliefs that you have. That's where you have to unblock them. See what limiting beliefs you're having in saying, well, I cannot align to a guy like that because they're too much for me, or they're not going to see me in that way, or I can't, I'm not deserving of someone like that. So as you go and you start writing down what you want, you're going to start seeing what limiting beliefs you have. Anything else?
And again, it's imagining those moments, imagining what kind of life you want with that person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do you want them to treat you? How do you want to treat them? What kind of things do you guys want to do? What kind of things you guys want to agree upon, right? You want to have all those things like in mind, and eventually even life will throw you that person, and you'll eventually come to the realization that getting to know someone, you manifested that person, and he or she is going to be right in front of you, and it's exactly everything that you asked for. But again, it's that, like Melly says, it's that mental diet, that daily mental diet of every single. You can't just say one day, I want this tall, handsome, successful, ambitious man one day. You have to do it every day. You have to imagine every day, because that's the life that you want to live every day.
Imagination is king.
Imagination, yeah, exactly. So being able to imagine that slowly solidifies that timeline,
Mhm.
that life that you're craving, little by little. Yeah.
It's fast too, so that way you can tap it
Yeah.
fast.
And again, it's that mental
It's
diet.
just the persistence of
Yeah,
it.
the persistence of you being able to. Let me give you one example. I think one of the things that has happened for me is that whenever I wanted something, it would start appearing everywhere. One big example is when I wanted to purchase my first truck. That's all I every day was, I want a truck. I want a black Silverado, whatever the year was. And I would say that every single day. I'm going to get my truck. It's going to be black. It's going to have this. It's going to have that. And I would see it on the road. I would start seeing it more and more on the road. And I was like, that's what I want. This is exactly what I want. I want it more. So every single day I manifested that I will have that truck.
Mhm.
Eventually, I found the perfect deal, because that's also one of the details, was I want to find it at this price. I want to find it at this color. I want to find it new. And then eventually life threw that specific truck, that specific thing that I wanted, that I was imagining, and I imagined myself driving it every day. I imagined myself in it. I imagined myself the happiness and the feeling of being in that said vehicle. And eventually it came to that fruition of I had my vehicle. So again, consistency, your mental daily diet is exactly what you need every single day in order to make your that reality.
Mhm. All right. Cobbleweb says, I want to be this person who's loved by men, women, and known and unknown. That person who's just loved and spoiled by everyone. Everything comes easy to me. Someone who's the most beautiful, successful business, happily married person. How do I build an identity around this?
Well, you see how you typed it out?
Mhm.
You
You're
see
supposed to say
do
that.
you see how easy it
I'm
was for you
supposed
to
to say
type
that.
that out? And this is your desire.
Yeah.
This is your desire. This is something you want. And look how easy it wasn't difficult to type, right? It,
I was
it
gonna say.
wasn't it wasn't impossible.
Uh-huh.
But look how easy it was for you to write it down, say it, and
Uh-huh.
this came out of your brain. This came out of your brain into fruition, and it was like, I want to be
This person.
this person.
Uh-huh.
Well, why are you not that person
Mhm.
yet? Well, you wrote it down right now. This is what I
Uh-huh.
want to be. This is what I can believe I can be. Loved by everybody, nonetheless, women,
Uh-huh.
men, everyone. Unknown. So why not tell yourself that? Why not bring that reality of yourself every single day and say that? Be like, I am someone. Not don't ask, how can I be? Say I am. Just like you wrote
I
it down. I am this person who everybody loves. I am this person who
am.
everybody gets cheerful to see. It being able to say these things
Mhm.
on a daily basis will bring that reality to you. But look how easy it was to type it down and say it.
And I am, like, your I am is so powerful. First, you're gonna start with the thoughts, right? So if you want to be a person who's loved by everyone and who gets spoiled and who everything comes easy to, first you're gonna start with your I am. You're gonna start with the affirmations. You're gonna start with the thoughts. As you go, possibly in a week and a half or so, you're gonna start to feel like, oh, okay, I want to start acting like this person now. So how would the person who's loved and who everything comes easy to would be acting like? Would he or she get flustered every time a problem came through? Probably not, because everything comes easy to them, right? So he or she would be like, you know what? It's okay. This is a bridge. This circumstance is leading me to what I want. That's how he or she would be acting. So you start to think like the person first, then you start to act like the person. And then the last part is you start to feel like
You
that
live
person,
it.
which is when you feel like that person, that's it.
You're
You
there.
reach the third phase, that's all you need, because you start to not only act and think like that person, you start to feel like that's true, even if you haven't seen completely a lot of proof in your reality. But you start to feel like it's done, like I don't need to do more, like I'm already that person, I'm already the person who everything comes easy to, I'm already the person that's loved by everyone. You just start to not care anymore, that no, like if somebody doesn't like you, you no longer give a shit. Why? Because you're already feeling like the person who's loved by everyone. That matters to you, you know? And then you also have to start recognizing things in your reality that are already telling you that you are this, because you probably are this and you're just not noticing. You're probably not realizing how much people love you in your current reality. Maybe maybe it starts with your loved ones, maybe it starts with your family members, maybe it starts with your friends. They do something nice for you, that's love, and you're not noticing it. Maybe somebody does something nice for you that makes your life easier. Maybe somebody went and put gas on your car and did it for you. Maybe somebody went and washed your car. Maybe somebody bought you a cup of coffee. All of that's making your life easier and you're just not noticing it. So a lot of little things you have to start noticing and being grateful for, so you can call forth more of that stuff.
And also being able to be open to the perception of like love. There's different kinds of love. So think about it this way as well. Like when I think about certain friends, the type of friend that I am is that I will have the guts to tell you when something's wrong. Or let's say I think that you're doing something wrong for yourself or to someone. That's also a kind of love. Sometimes not everybody's going to tell you exactly everything you want to hear, but it's sometimes what you need to hear. So being able to be open to the perception of like what kind of love everybody gives you. Sometimes we could take it negatively, but we see it's a different type of love that they're giving you. So again, being able to know when to also be able to say like, okay, if somebody, loses you, that's their loss. You have to be able to say like, I am a great person, I am a great friend, I am someone who is lovable, and if somebody doesn't want to, then that's their loss.
And Cobbleweb said, and the 3D has reflected resistance, hostility from his family. How do I ruminate in a better identity? The same thing we were talking about. So you just got to keep doing that. Like,
I'm lovable.
I'm lovable. Everybody loves
Ev-
me. I'm in a harmonious like relationship with everyone, and everybody in my life accepts me, loves me. Strada says, "Ma'am, I want to be a very fair-skinned person, but I am manifesting temporarily. I am becoming fair. Some days I am not. Why is it temporary? Maybe because you keep assuming it is, or you're afraid that's only temporary." And I would suggest, Shraddha, the first thing you have to do is kind of like be more loving with your skin as it is right now, rather than coming from a place of like, I need to change my skin to be more beautiful. You kind of have to like already love the skin that you have. Like, my skin is so beautiful, my skin is wonderful. And then you can start adding, I am so fair skinned. I love my skin so much. And then you're gonna start noticing the change. But if you keep saying like, oh, this is only temporary, why is it not then you're just focusing on the wrong thing. Let's see. Kitty321 says, yes, I'm trying to believe it will come earlier than August, but this gives me a relief that it's going to happen for sure. Yes, and she's gas also said that he will commit to me after that, because whatever she predicts actually becomes true every single day. Again, don't give your power away. You have the power, and this just confirming to you that you're on the right path.
Kind of like getting a confirmation email from the DMV, like,
Yeah,
yeah, you have this date secured, but if you don't go, it doesn't mean anything.
yeah,
So again, it's good to hear that you have a,
confirmation.
but let's not sit idle.
Hmm.
Let's not just say, okay, well, I've been told this, I'm not going to manifest anymore.
Yeah.
You have to manifest every single day.
So
Live it, imagine it, be able to imagine the feeling when SP is going to come in and be like, hey,
this is gonna be the great.
yeah, I left this person and you're the person I want to be.
Mm,
Imagine that moment
mhm.
repeatedly. What do you want that moment to be like? That's the thing. When life brings you this moment,
How are you
what do
gonna
you
feel?
want it to be like? What do you want him to say?
Mhm.
How do you
Yep.
want to feel?
Hmm.
How do you want him to feel? What
Hmm.
do you want this exact moment to be?
Yep.
And that's your daily mental diet of knowing exactly what you want. I
Mhm.
want it to be this exact way, even down to the minute detail of what he's wearing. All that stuff matters on how you bring this into your life.
Sarah says, Melly, I don't want my SP to get physical with his female friend because nobody has free will. So I should not give focus and not give it a single thought or attention to it, right? Correct. And instead focus on something else like my work or others. I also affirm SP's only physical partner and focus on what I want.
That's the key part right there. You have the answer right there. You are the only physical partner that your SP has. You can't concentrate on the other part because the more you think about it, the more you're going to imagine things. The more you're going to think what if, and all these things come into your reality. It's going to come into the reality if you keep on thinking about him potentially being with another partner, another person physically. The only thing you need to concentrate on is I'm the person he's going to I'm the only person. I'm the only person. I'm the only person he is physical with. I am the only person he desires physically. That's the key right there. You have the answer right there. You know the answer now. So now it's just a repetition, is believing that you are the only person that SP persisting, yes. Because if you dwell on the other part, you're bringing that into you're manifesting that. You're thinking about it. You're imagining SP being with other people. And then unknowingly, you're bringing those people there instead of you just telling life that you are the only one.
Completely agree. I don't think I have more to add other than, yep, that's how you're gonna have to do it. Is focus on what you want, not what you don't, because that's your only job. Raluki says, I've been manifesting quite steadily for a while, but then a third party showed up and now I started to waver a lot and get a lot of anxiety. How do I deal with it? I had a similar situation with another SP I was manifesting, and with that one, she never broke up with that SP, and I am scared that the situation will repeat itself. It sounds like you're having a pattern right now, and that pattern is stemming from you in some way. So you have to find out what those limiting beliefs are that when it comes to specific person or when you're in a relationship. I would say first of all analyze and ask yourself, what are my beliefs about relationships in general? Do I believe that people leave me? Do I believe that other people do I believe that once I'm with a specific person, there comes another person that's more interesting than me and they like them more and then they leave me for that person? So there's some limiting beliefs at the root of your identity that you're gonna have to analyze so that you can drop those limiting beliefs and anything that's blocking you to having a harmonious relationship. What do you believe about your specific people that you're dating once you start dating them? How do you think they see you? All of these are beliefs that are probably at the root of why 3Ps are showing up for you.
And then you can't let these patterns become something that dwell on your mind a lot, because you're bringing these patterns into reality and you're telling yourself, oh, every single time
This happens.
this happens because it's happened before. Oh, it happened with the last two relationships. So you're going to bring it into reality into your next relationship. Again, like she said, leave the past in the past. The past is the past. You have to now concentrate on what you want now, what you want to bring into your life now. It's you telling yourself, I am this person. I am this type of person that no one wants to leave. I am this person that has no competition, that they won't get bored of me.
They have no eyes for anyone else.
So you, again, don't dwell in the past, don't dwell in what's happened before, because if you keep on thinking about that, it's
You'll
the
get
same pattern that you'll
Mhm.
keep on bringing into your reality. Just, oh yeah, it's happened before, so why you're going to bring into reality more saying it's happened before, what's going to be different this time? Instead of that, you should be saying it is going to be different. From now on, I am this person who this won't happen anymore.
That's the most amazing relationship. Yep, that's how you have to do it. You have to start focusing on what you want, not what you don't. Stop letting the patterns shake you and start seeing yourself, identifying yourself as a person who has long-lasting relationship. Kitty321 says, I am manifesting it every single day. My affirmations, and I'm happy to know what's going on behind the scenes, makes me feel relieved because earlier I used to get irritated that I couldn't see anything, but now I can see everything. So I am happy. I'm glad, Kitty. I'm glad you're getting on that wavelength and that you're getting the confirmations that you need. So else says, hi Melly, I hope you're doing amazing. I wanted to talk about a doubt I have. So I'm manifesting my SP. Nowadays, most of the days I act like, yeah, he's coming to me anyway. I am, but it feels weird at times. And fewer times my emotions pop up and I waver a little bit and get into a little lax state. But I control my mind and do it anyway, even if believing in it seems hard. Am I on the right track? Even though I see no movement at all, I'm still persisting.
Just right there, you have the key point right there. The fact that, like, even though you said that you don't see movement, but
Persisting.
you're still persistent, that's the key right there. That's the
Agree.
key into manifestation and being able to say, even though life's telling you like there's no movement, you're like, no,
There,
I this is what I believe in. I believe that SP is gonna be mine. You know, you're not giving up. You're thinking about it. You're manifesting it, and being able to be persistent again will bring that into your life. You'll bring that in that situation, that desire into reality. So you are doing good by not giving up.
Mhm.
That right there is the key moment of you realizing and you being like in the moment
Mhm.
telling life no, like this is what I want, even though life's telling me right now that I haven't seen the progress that I want. I still believe that this is going to happen.
And then the cool thing is that even if you waver, doubt, it doesn't matter. Once you put the order out of your manifestation, it's done. Like you're going to get it no matter what. No matter if you're wavering, if you're doubting, it's just a matter of it showing up. And it's going to show up once you are in the state of like, I've done everything I had to do. It's done. I don't need to worry about it anymore. Once you're in that state of like, I just know it, even if you're doubting or wavering, it doesn't matter. You're going to get it. I told you guys about a success story that I had. I thought it was a success story because even though this happened like what 2 years before I wanted to manifest becoming vice president of a company or CEO of a company, but my desire changed after. I was getting ready to become someone very important in the company that I was with, including, I think if I would have stuck in that company, I would have become vice president at some point. But my desires change. So sometimes even your desires could change, but once the order is placed, the order is placed. It doesn't matter if you don't want the desire anymore, you're still going to get it. So I placed that order like maybe 2 years ago that I wanted to become vice president or CEO of a company one day. I think I posted it on Instagram where my specific person introduced me as CFO of his company. So that desire was a long time ago. And I didn't continue working on it ever because I changed my desire. I didn't want to work anymore. I didn't want to work long hours anymore. And I still got that desire of becoming CFO of a company. Like my boyfriend introduced me as CFO of his company. So you're gonna get the desire regardless, even if you don't want it. Like, let's say tomorrow you don't want it anymore and you stop working on it and you stop giving a shit about that desire. It doesn't matter. You're still gonna get it. Okay, do you guys have any other questions? Great questions so far, you guys. I have about 10 minutes because I'm gonna jump into a conference call. So get your questions in right now. Let's see. Ma'am, I have a question, but I can't ask my parents. Then from where can I manifest it? The where in the how is not your job. Your job is just to assume that you already have what you want. So you have to start thinking you already have that thing. My suggestion is be specific about the amount of money that you want. Like, for example, $1,000. I have $1,000 in my bank account, or I get $1,000 out of thin air. I have $1,000. As you keep thinking, I have $1,000, I have $1,000, kind of start thinking like, what are you going to do with those $1,000? Where is that $1,000 going to go? Because the money that's coming in, you have to cycle it, right? So you have to think, what are you going to do with that money? Imagine what you're going to do with the money, or think what you're going to do with that money, and think of it that way. Now, the how and the where is not your job. You have one job. It's just to think that you already have it. Don't worry about where it's going to come from. The opportunities and the ways you're going to get it are going to be easy. You're not going to have to do crazy stuff to get the money. You're not going to have to ask anyone for the money. It's just going to come up in perfect ways. I'm telling you, that happened with me when I needed $13,000 to purchase a piece of land. I had no idea where I was going to get the money. There was no way I could get a loan. They were not going to give me a loan at that time. And all I thought was, I already have the money for that land. I already have the money for that land in perfect ways. I don't need to do anything. I already have the money. I'm telling you, that same day, I got those $13,000. So the how and the when are not your job. All right, Sadaf. I recently had movement. The 3P and SP had a major fight and they almost parted ways. When I got to know this through my SP social media, I was over the moon. But later, when I started seeing him crying and grieving over her, this broke me and I spiraled. I started to think that he could never love me the way he loves her, and I again saw them together sorting out things. So I was really sad. I really doubt how can he love me as he never loved me before. I know I am powerful and I manifested their breakup and I want love. Well, you just wrote right there why you're not getting favorable results. It's because you keep flip flopping. You're not really committed to the new story. You're not committed to your desire. You're flip flopping. You saw them broken up instead of solidifying that new story and saying, you know what, he's going to be fine because he's madly in love with me. So they broke up. And the reason they broke up is because he doesn't love her and he's realized that he's actually in love with me. Instead of doing that, what did you do? You ended up spiraling in the opposite direction. You ended up thinking like he could never love me the way he loves her. So you got exactly what you were asking for. You're a perfect manifester. You're just manifesting the opposite of what you want. So you're like manifestation's working perfectly for you. It's just that you're manifesting the wrong thing for yourself. So you're doing this to yourself. You can't serve two masters, set off, and that's what you're doing. You're trying to serve two masters. I want him, but I don't want him hurt. I want him, but I want him to love me more. Yeah, well, he can't do that while you're here thinking that he loves her more. Like, you can't serve two masters. You're trying to grow apples while planting orange seeds. You know what I mean? Like, I want him to love me so much, but then you like 5 minutes in, you're like, "But he's never going to love me as much as he loves her." That's what you're doing right now. So you're completely fucked up in that scenario, pretty much. So it's not gonna work because you keep serving two masters. You're of two minds, and Neville said that never works. Either you commit to your new story, period, no matter what you're seeing, or you can't be of two minds because it's just not going to work. You cannot serve two masters. Okay, Kenza. Melly just wanted to tell you that I feel so good since doing strict mental diet. Good! See, mental diet does fucking work. I keep telling you guys. I have shifted and I'm no longer afraid of anything people say. Beautiful SP showed movement towards positive things. I'm really at peace, even my doubt doesn't make me nervous. They don't have the same intensity. I'm so happy I didn't check 3D also. Thank you, Melly. And that's beautiful because if you're in the state of already having, you wouldn't need to check 3D. You don't give a fuck about 3D anymore. Like, it doesn't bother you. Trust me. I get so much circumstances sometimes in my face and I don't fucking care. I'm still committed to my reality, my new version of me, the new identity of me, the new story. Doesn't matter what I get slapped in the face with. I'm like, nope, sir. We're not gonna keep manifesting more of that shit. I'm gonna manifest what I want. So I keep persistent on what I want. My brother's the same way. We are the same. We are persistent in what we want. We are very stubborn, stubborn people to get what we want. Also, revision helped me so much. It's like all the negative circumstances or hurtful things with my SP are not real. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about revision. Revision does work, especially with things that have traumatized you or things that have hurt you. Revision always works for that. So I'm glad you're using it to your advantage. So he cried because he regrets that he trusted her and that he lost so much time. I would have I would have think that. That's good. All right. Thank you a lot, Melly. You're very welcome, Kenza. Well, 3D gave you exactly what you wanted, Sadaf. You yourself wrote it right there. that you started to say he could never love me like he loves her. So you got exactly what you wanted. The 3D doesn't, remember guys, I always tell you this. The 3D does not lie. You're getting exactly what you're asking for. What happens is that usually when you are manifesting a desire, you see it as impossible, while the circumstances you see them as true. So that's why circumstances manifest a lot faster and they manifest a lot more because they're your truth. What did you feel more true? You felt more true that he loves her more than you. So that's why it poof automatically popped up in your 3D. That's why circumstances manifest a lot faster because we see them as true more than our desires because our desires seem a lot more impossible. So that's why they require a lot more repetition and a lot more consistency. You guys have any other questions? I have about 15 minutes actually before I jump into the phone call. Anything else? Oh, looks like you guys are good, right? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this free coaching session with me and my brother. I hope it was helpful. I intend that all of everything that we said here today will just help your manifestation come faster and that it will help you keep in the new story, keep in your mental diet, keep persisting, keep making you stubborn to have what you want, and that you guys feel more powerful than how you came in to this coaching session. I will be uploading this to YouTube today. All right, guys, have a wonderful day.